Hey Crushers, this is Janine with Nature's Crush Handmade, and as promised a year ago almost, I am doing an updated soap room tour. On my last soap room tour, I was in a rental home, and we are now in a hopefully don't have to ever move again home. So I just kind of wanted to show you my setup as it is right now. I know it was going to be ever changing, but this is how it is now, so I wanted to show you. I'm going to kind of stay behind the scenes this time. So here we go. All right, so here's just kind of an overview of the actual soap room. And just like in the last video, I still have a ton of stuff. Also, just like the last video, I don't have all of my materials in one area. The majority of what I need is in here, but I do have other areas where I have to store things. Today's kind of a dreary day, so I have my ring light on to provide some additional lighting for me, but it may cast some shadows, so I apologize ahead of time. So I'll start over here. My grandparents, both sets of my grandparents. And over here I keep some glycerin letters and so forth that I use in my soaps. The best is yet to come. And then I have two sets of the IKEA, I want to say the Alex drawers. So these are the long tower ones. And I love these. I love them. So I'm just going to do a very quick overview of what's inside. On the top one, I have some stamps, and I have my box cutter scissors. Second, I have my hair nets and pipettes and little spoons and so forth. Here I have the sample scents that's sent to me when I place an order. We have our glitters, our gel colors, and then here are my reds and pinks, blues and greens, lakes and dyes and micas, golds and purples. And then last I have like browns, white, black, and the gold that needs to be up here. Anyway, okay. And since I'm already on my knees, I'm going to go ahead and come on over here and start from the bottom on this tower. I have my grater and my little steamer. I have some ribbon, more ribbon, my hand mixers, some extra containers. This is what I use for my lotion bars. I have some bags. Up here I have my cutting board that I use for melt and pour and so forth, and knives I use. Extra little containers. I think these are so cute, little jars. I actually use these for facial masks. A facial mask kit I make. And then my safety equipment. So I have my mask. And if any of you have these like little respirator masks, it's a good idea to keep them in their container, because if they're not covered or in a little baggie, if they're not, they're continuing to work. So you want to kind of keep it sealed up so that you have more life out of them. Then of course I have my thermometer, safety glasses, and my gloves. Okay, so moving on over here, my racking system. Up top I have my soap molds, and I have quite a few different types. And if I had to tell you which one I use the most, I'm sorry, I can't try not to get too close. That's my tall and skinny. I love that one. And then I probably use these four the most. These a whole lot. And then these are basically the same dimensions, just a little longer, so I can get more bars of soap cut out of those. And then here I have my alcohol, my butter, my oils that I use. I have fragrances there in the end. A few of the many. On this rack, I have my citric acid. I do have more over, which I'll show you in a minute, but I kind of refill my citric acid into these smaller containers for use. I have some cocoa butter in the back, some emulsifying wax, kaolin clay, more emulsifying wax. I have my TD. I have the one with for water and one for oil here. I have my BTMS, some panthenol, and these are some oils, which clearly you can see need to kind of replace some. But that's what I use when I'm soaping for, you know, so that it's easier to use. I'm not trying to use these large containers, which I'm about to show you. So here I have my distilled water. I have an unopened bottle of aloe vera juice, because once you open it, it needs to be refrigerated. My olive oil, and I have all kinds of, I have like olive squalene, argan oil, some MCT oil, castor oils, glycerin, so forth, so on. I even have my little tuss of soap in here. At the bottom, I have my coconut oil, and then I have some melt and pour soaps base. In the middle of this rack, I have another tower, and here I keep all my fragrance oils and essential oils. Like I told you, there's really no shortage of my fragrances. It's sad. My other rack up against the wall, I have my cutters. Remember Cece, which is the brown one, and Bud, which is my single cutter. And then I have a planer there. And I have a loaf cutter over there in the corner. And on top I also have a dehumidifier. And these things pull a lot of water. I have 2 of them in here. So if you're making bath bombs, you definitely need to get a dehumidifier. On my next row, I have my Botanicals, rose petals, and lavender, and jasmine flowers. I have walnut shell powder, sea salts, Epsom salts, and all that lovely stuff. Down below is just kind of a continuation of those, just extra additives or botanicals that I use, like fenugreek and my green clay. I have different clays that I can use. And then over here in the back, you'll see my sodium hydroxide, and that is what I use for my soap. And then I have the containers that I use. Let's see if I can get a picture of that. Yeah. So I use the actual Essential Depot sodium hydroxide. And I mean, it doesn't matter. There's so many different, I've used several different companies for my sodium hydroxide. These are the containers I pre-mix my sodium hydroxide in. Underneath I have butters. So we have some shea butter. I have my my candelilla wax. More of that. Arrowroot powder. This is actually black seed oil kernels. We actually process black seed oil as well, and these are some of the kernels that come from that, and I'm going to be using them in a exfoliating product soon. I have Citric Acid, mango butter. I have a whole bunch of different kind of butters on. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have my son to help me this time. Anyway, I have a plethora of butters. Hummus powder, kokum butter there in the back. So quite a few butters. Down here I have different waxes, and these are all for my candles. Basically these last 2 rows are all for, dedicated to candle making. Well, except for that bottom box right there, that's shea butter and that shea butter. But everything else is for candle making. These are my little wax tart containers. Over here I have more things for candle making and wax tart making. And then at the bottom is where I keep my sugar, and that's baking soda, that's extra citric acid that I was telling you I pull from there, and that's botanical oil that we actually process in-house as well, and I keep a small amount of it here for me to use. Above that, I have my board, and I have some things covered just for privacy purposes, but that kind of keeps me on track. And you like my wall? I like the wall. It's wallpaper, and so kind of gives me a nice little urban feel up here, which I like. Over here on this table, this is one of the 2 stainless steel tables that I have, and I love my stainless steel tables. It definitely is a lot easier for cleanup and for sanitizing. So at the bottom I have cupcake holders when I make my cupcake soaps, and then I have my pots that I use for either lotion making, soap making, or soap making. And I also have my little candle warmers there as well, and some extra storage of things there at the bottom. This is an electrical cord extension which I actually bring over and attach to this, and I'll show you this table in a minute. So actually I can use extra plugs here to work on my middle table. Due to the fact that I do have a little stove there, I do keep a fire extinguisher over in the corner just in case. I don't want to burn the house down. I don't want to move again. So I have my mixer. I'll get a little closer now. I have my stand mixer in the corner, my little stove, and then I have my bath bomb press by Electropress, Muddy Soap Company, and I will be doing a demonstration on that within a group. So I will let everybody know when I'll be doing that. And if you have been thinking about getting one of these, you may want to sit tight for just a minute because I have a surprise for you. So that's coming up very soon. Over here on the wall, I have my little molds for the bath bomb press I have hanging. And these are the little pegboard systems from IKEA. The table I purchased, the 2 tables I purchased from a restaurant supply company. Over in the corners, my baker's rack that I had in the other tour, and I did purchase that from Amazon. So this is where I'll keep my bath bombs as they're drying, and as you can see, a plethora of other things. Over here I still do have my soap drying racks, and right now up top I have some finished lotions, and I wanted to show you guys the little Love Crush soaps. I think they're cute. So one has a heart, some of them have just a heart, some of them have both of them, and some just have the lips, so just depending on where they were in the mold, but I just think they're cute. And then I have some other soaps that are curing down here. And what I do when my soaps are curing, I actually just make a little note so I can keep track. The name of the soap, when I made them, the date for 4 weeks and the date for 6 weeks, because they need to cure between 4 to 6 weeks. So that kind of keeps me on track as to when I can wrap them. So clearly from, as you can see, I can go ahead and get those out and start wrapping those. Okay, over here. Don't mind my little extra stand. I'll move that out of the way. I do have an attic in this room, and I do store extra boxes, storage boxes, and little things that I use for shows. You know, little display items I use for shows. I do store in my store in the attic. Above the doors, I have my pictures from France. These were previously in my office before, but I think they both look so cute here, flanked against the by the window because of the shutters. Really gives it like a little cute Parisian feel to me. So underneath that, I do have another IKEA storage unit. I just said the name of it a moment ago. Alex, there we go. Alex drawer system. So on top of it, those are my babies. So that's my oldest son and my youngest son. Then I have some plants up top there. And then underneath I keep tissue paper. I have my glues and so forth that I need for candle making, or just little crafts. My cutters, hole punchers. And then these are the boards for my Cricut, and also a cutting board. And then also have my little cutters, some more cutters here. So I love, like I said, I love these Alex drawers. I think everybody, almost everybody has them, but if you do not and you have a craft room or any need for storage, they are wonderful. They hold a lot, they glide nicely, and I'm so glad that I made the investment in those. Okay, so backing out over here, this is my little wrapping station, I call it. I have the pegboard system over it, and also have an IKEA letter organizer, I guess you could say, on top of that. This little cutie was actually left here when we bought the house. It was in the garage, but I cleaned it up and brought it up here. And I keep extra, my rolls of labels that I use. I have my shrink wrap bands in here. I have, these are cupcake holder containers and more of them. And then inside the drawers, and I'll move that light in just a moment, I have the things that I put inside when I mail packages, like my thank you cards and my business cards. I have an extra heat impulse, not an extra, but that is a heat impulse. I have extra toner that I use for my laser printer, and then also in that little container I have some crinkle paper or so forth. So on the top of it is where I have my shrink wrap system that I've showed you in the other soap tour. Still have that. That's its new home now. And from the ones at IKEA, I love these little roll systems. This is what I use when I'm, again, making my labeling, my containers and so forth. I pull from there. Extra ribbon, pens, scissors. This is just information for mailing. And then here's where I keep all my labels for whatever I'm making that I can put on top of there. I am going to organize that a little bit better, but ultimately right now I do know where things are, where everything is, so that's pretty cool. I'll turn this light around here so we can get some extra light. Okay, over here on this container, on this little bench. Again, IKEA cube system, and that is their little containers that go inside of them. I love them because they are huge. They hold a lot. So this is my Lightbox. Got it from Amazon. Sorry for getting close up, but I'm going to show you how it looks inside. This is where I do a lot of my product photography. It's great. Turn it on for you. So again, got it from Amazon. Love it. All right, underneath that I keep extra silicone, my silicone molds, some of them. More silicone molds. My recipe books and so forth. And more books that I love to read. Okay. And then over here is a little painting I made, and this is a filing cabinet that is for personal use. And a little fan from some friends in Ghana. So my little keepsake. And then I have a closet. I'll back up so you can see how that closet is. I have a closet here next to another racking system. So let me turn this light around. I apologize, y'all. I know I am just shaking all over the place and probably making you sick. All right, So here's my little closet system that I have in a room. So up top I keep all my storage boxes, extra storage boxes. I have my apron and my microphone, which I probably should have on now. On the sides where I keep my wax tarts that are completed, needless to say, I need to replenish. And just extra, have room for extra things. I have extra containers that I use. And here, and this beauty here is from IKEA. And guess what it has? Molds! Yeah, any soaper will tell you that silicone molds is a weakness. You just can't pass anything without looking for silicone molds. I have more molds in that container. This container, it's ridiculous. And so these are extra jars and containers, like I said. I have my little wrapping bags, organza bags, so forth. And it goes all the way back here, so it's pretty deep, which I do appreciate and like. So it keeps me organized. These little containers, I actually bought these from Target. So it keeps me nice and organized. I know where everything is. Eventually I may label, but right now I really know where to go, so it's okay. So that's the closet. Okay, over in this corner here, I'm going to have to move my light, guys, so bear with me. I have my Cricut Maker up top, another painting I made, and just some sample containers of product that I store there, my microwave, the containers for my soap, and bath bombs and cupcake soaps and sample bags that I give out. So that's there. Over here in the middle of the room is where I work primarily, between these two tables. So this is my main table. This little bucket I got from a restaurant supply store, and that is where I put my dirty dishes to take downstairs to clean. And then over here I have all of my mixing bowls and pouring funnels and so forth. I have my 70% alcohol there because that's actually what I use to sanitize the tables with. And that's my work surface, which I love, my little scale. And as I mentioned, I usually will bring the cord over and attach here, so I have extra room there that I can, for my hand mixer when I'm using this table to work on, I have power. And then here is my IKEA, I think it's called a Raskog cart, and I keep my tools. So spoons and measuring items, calculator, I have gloves, my sieve, my, let's see, I have extra little mixing bowls. So just things that I need on a given basis when I'm making soap or any products. They're right here. I'm ready to access. So, and I do have the little mats, even though this is carpeted, and eventually I am going to change that out. But right now, when you have moving expenses, you just kind of take things in and as you can do them. So eventually I will have hardwood floors up here, but this is where I am now. So this was my little soap room. I do have an office as well, as in a different area, but I love my little area a lot. So a lot of times I open up those shutters, let all the light in. And in the spring and in the fall, there is a Japanese maple tree that is right outside that window, and it's this beautiful burnt orange. So I have a beautiful view of that. And so that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry that it's shaky and I still haven't mastered the videoing, but I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, you can leave a comment below, or you can feel free to email me if you like. It's Janine@naturescrush.com. You guys have a good one, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.